Bonjour, je m'appelle Wim, je suis le parc manager du site ici à La Panne.
Half of my time I'm also the manager on duty. And that means taking care of all the practical issues during the day, making sure that we have enough staff, making sure that everything is going according to plan.
Well, my name is Koen de Lepper. I am operations supervisor at the operations department of Plopsaland de Panne. I'm working here now for almost 2 years, and I started off in 2017 as an intern. I'm coming from the Netherlands, and I did a study in the Netherlands for attractions and theme parks management.
At this moment we are waiting for our last steward. She is doing KCO, which stands for Kassencontrole Onthaal in Dutch. Guest services, guest relations. She's already very busy, so we are waiting for her and then we can start off with the briefing.
Vandaag Wim. Er zijn 2 groepjes, in totaal 98 personen. 2 bussen komen er af. Het zou mooi en warm weer worden. Het staat hier 17 graden, maar ik denk dat we meer...
The briefing we go through what is expected for today. So what do we know and what's still unclear. So we start with the opening hours. Who's the manager on duty? What's the budget? What's the visitor amount that we are expecting, and so on. How many groups? What are special events today? So we have the special Eastern events, the egg hunting thing. At what time some attractions will open, because they will open later. Yeah. So those are things that we are going over every morning. We also conclude which steward is on which side of the park. That we know who to contact if something is wrong or something we need to know extra information or something.
In fact, in the morning you never know what the day will bring. If there is a collision between 2 cars on our parking site, you have to intervene. A technical problem with an attraction, you have to intervene. It's mostly about planning and making sure that the visitors have a wonderful day in every aspect of their visit here.
They are notifying our dispatcher that they came in today, and the dispatcher is giving them all the information that they need for today, from here's your book, here are your keys, and have a good day. That can be very briefly, very short, and then they go to their working station, which can be an attraction, which can be the parking lot, which can be KCO, as in cash registers and guest services, or the event today.
Always start with the briefing together with our stewards in our dispatching. Then we start our day, and it always starts with a check round by the stewards and also by us, the operations supervisors. We do some test on rides, and yeah, then we start.
Now we go to our dark ride, our only dark ride at this moment, het Bos van Plop, Forêt de Plop. I ride rides during my job, yeah. Child's dream, I guess. Yeah, and in this attraction, it's not mostly, of course, safety is throughout everything we do, but this ride is more focusing on the ride experience. So that every puppet has its head, is working properly, and that it looks okay. That our emergency exits are free, that they're easily accessible. So that's basically this ride. We have several rides that we have to do before opening, and a few of them can be done within the 2 hours of opening, so before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's all the same. So we do the dark ride, several roller coasters, the slide, because we need to test the slide if it's sliding properly. And that can be very busy before opening. Yeah.
Bos van Plop is what we are. That is Plopsaland. And even if you look at what visitors tell us about it, it's still a very, very popular attraction. So I think one of these days it will get a big makeover also, because the animatronics are now 20 years old, so they need a lot of love, a lot of maintenance. But it would be a shame for me to let go of Bos van Plop. That's what we are. That is Plopsaland.
Now it's confirmed in the daily sheet, which is a very important document for us, because in every downtime we register that on the daily sheet, so that we know in the end of the day how many downtimes we had, and we also confirm it to dispatching if it's working or not, and if it's still operational, and if everything is okay. So now, well, I will call them on my radio to tell them that the test and ride is okay, and it can be opened after training of our colleague.
It's a choice to be a small, hard-working group, but we will never over-employ, because you don't need that many captains on the ship. You need a captain and you need the soldiers, and they have to work together very hard. It has a financial implication on the result of the company, allowing us to opening new things. That's true, we are a small, hard-working group.
Understood. I go all the way to the wooden coaster now, because that one is a very popular one and I want it to be open from start already. Victor's Race that we passed 1 minute ago, which is also a popular coaster, but it's all the way in the end of the park, so it will take more time for visitors to get there. So if it's opened a few minutes later, max 5 minutes later, it's not a big deal for the visitor. They won't notice it. Yeah, I have some sort of priority list. From the dark ride is very busy in the morning, the wooden coaster is very busy in the morning, Anubis is very busy in the morning, so those three need to be operational first. Hoi. Je derde man is er nog niet? Die meetstok, daar wil ik al meteen. It's not just one training and then you're good to go. Sometimes it looks like that, but we have a lot of moments already before that they get more the general rules, the general restrictions of a ride. And of course, when it's the very first day at a ride, we take even more time for them. And it really depends on the ride. You can tell for Heidi, it looks like a very complicated coaster, but operating it is not very hard. So it really depends on the ride.
I feel lucky to ride the rides every day. Yeah. Yes, I guess that it's a child's dream for every coaster enthusiast that is in this world. Of course it is. But in the end, after almost 2 years, it's a fun part of our job. But besides the fun, we are always aware of safety and ride comfort and the ride experience. So there's always, next to the fun, a serious aspect to it.
The control ticketing is already opened, so visitors are coming in the park already. But the rest of the park, except for the main square, is still closed.
I send out daily prognosis to all our staff members saying, okay, we have that many group reservation, this is the weather forecast, this is the long-term attendance on such kind of a date. We will expect 5, 8, 10,000 visitors. And it has become more and more difficult the last 2-3 years to predict what the day will bring.
I can see the visitor number at real time. So I see that we have now more than 1,000 visitors already in 1.5 hours, so it's good for business. We are budgeting our amount of visitors, and we need to make sure that we reach that budget in order to have great results. So I can see that number, which is the original budget. I can see that. So when we see green figures, we cheer a little.
Now it's the start of the Eastern weekend, so it's Eastern tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, which is a busy weekend. It's very nice weather, so our park is located near the Belgian coast and people are coming to the Belgian coast. We had a lot of traffic jams the past few days, not necessarily for our park, but for the coast as a whole. So there are a lot of tourists at the coast, at the Belgian coast right now, which was good, but they were coming in all at once. So that caused some queue lines in the entrance of the park, and we tried to do our best to avoid queue lines and keep them as short as possible.
Today we were expecting 10 to 12,000 visitors, and we have far less. We only have 8-9. Whereas on Thursday we expected 7.5, and we had nearly 14,000. There is no obvious reason. The weather is the same. It's a holiday period. It's even a weekend. Normally the attendance today should be the same as last Thursday, and it's not the case. That's one of the most difficult things, because the actual prognosis also affects everything in operations. Like, for instance, how many parkings do you open? How many staff will you put at the tills, at the entrance? How many people will you put in restaurants? How many people will you put in shops? It is all depending on the prediction and the prognosis you make for a day.
I think to do this job is that you really need to be flexible. Since every day is a different day, you really need to be flexible towards your visitors, to your employer as well. Every day is a different day, and sometimes the industry can be very demanding.
You have to love your job. You have to have an attitude of being comfortable with not knowing what will happen. For some people that might be difficult. For other people like me, it's the challenge that just gives you the strength of going ahead and living with that uncertainty, but also living with okay, what can we do next? What will be the next investment? How do we have to manage the park then? Oh yeah, we can build a swimming pool. Gee, what will that bring? How many people will we have to visit the swimming pool? How do we organize it?
Well, I would say to my boss, if he's listening as well, that I start at 9 and quit that working day after park closing. But normally I will be here starting at 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning already, to do some work prior to the briefing. And since I'm in operations, I'm the last one who is leaving the park. So when the last visitor is gone, I'm leaving as well.
My favorite attraction here is personally, I think it's Annobis. Yes, it's Annobis. Experience is the addition, is the total sum of all your mistakes. I have a lot of experience, meaning I made a lot of mistakes. Of course, over the years we had to grow with our public. I think it will be time for a next big good coaster.